and good morning to you. It is October 2nd, Monday, and the 49ers are 4-0. Welcome to the Plus. We've been at it since 8 a.m. already here on the Plus, and the Krug Show included a simulcast of 49ers Wake Up, and I'm glad that we were able to get that in early because I'm not going to be able to stay with you very long today here on the Damon Bruce Show. It is Warriors Media Day. The world of sports waits for absolutely no one, including me. And I got to get over to Chase Center, and we'll bring you inside of Warriors Media Day. We'll start talking about the Warriors a little bit later on this week, obviously. We're very excited for basketball season to start, but what a football season has begun. For the San Francisco 49ers, baseball season, it's over. Tomorrow we'll get into the postseason and how it sets up a little bit. We don't have time for that today. It's going to be a very quick-moving show. And I'll tell you right now, no VIP lounge in the AMP app today. Don't have time to sit there and hit you with the cool, soothing sounds of Damon Bruce Radio. But I will have a tweet prize for you, because that is how we end the show, and we do respect tradition at all times. What a game for the 49ers. What if I told you that they'd reach 35 points without Debo catching a pass and George Kittle only catching one? Like, it's a pretty good way to start, right? The 49ers had the kind of game that showed you how truly deep and fascinating they are thanks to the excellence of Brock Purdy, and there was an awful lot of excellence on display yesterday. He was remarkable, going 20 of 21. Brock Purdy finishes with a completion percentage of 95.2. That is the franchise record for completion percentage, minimum of 20 attempts. It is the fourth best completion percentage in NFL history, minimum of 20 attempts. And as I said to Larry, you go ahead, turn on your PlayStation 5 a little bit later on today, and you try to go 20 of 21. I bet you can't do it on the video game, just throwing only swing passes and underneath routes. 20 of 21 is hard virtually, much less in the reality of an NFL football game. So Brock Purdy is now 9-0 in the regular season. It is the third longest winning streak to begin a career in NFL history. The doubters, they're having a rough Monday. They're having a real rough Monday. Again, I'm not sitting here supporting anyone. I just report on the things that I see with my own two eyes. And what I see is the best team in football through 4 weeks. And I don't think that that is an oversell. I don't think that that is an exaggeration for the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's who they are. It's who they are. They got this nasty defense. They've got an offense which is now as dangerous as any offense in all of football. They've scored 30, 30, 30, and 35 points in their first 4 games of the year. It's not since you go back to Peyton Manning's heyday with the Denver Broncos that any team has started a season scoring like that. And that Broncos team, by the way, went on to set an NFL scoring record in that season, 2013, that still stands to this day. The 49ers have won 14 games in a row. So Brock Purdy is doing things that neither Joe Montana nor Steve Young ever did. He is doing things that are comparable with Peyton Manning. His name continues to be bandied about with future Hall of Famers or inner sanctum Hall of Famers. A lot of talk like, oh, he reminds me of Tom Brady, which is a ridiculous thing to say out loud. I mean, it really is. It's patently absurd to say anyone reminds you of Tom Brady because Tom Brady has a trophy case that doesn't look like anyone else's. But Purdy is just making the right play and the right decision and executing the pass with a level of accuracy that allows him to do something ridiculous like go 20 of 21 for 283 yards, a touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown on a quarterback sneak, and Christian McCaffrey was absolutely remarkable yesterday. Christian McCaffrey, I've been telling you, is the best player on this football team. He is the most essential player to this football team's success, and I believe he is the best football player the 49ers have employed since Jerry Rice. It's a big mouthful, right? That is a huge order to fill. Christian McCaffrey is the best offensive weapon this team has had since Jerry Rice. He might be their best overall player since Jerry Rice. That is how good Christian McCaffrey is. McCaffrey yesterday was transcendent with 177 yards, his first 4-touchdown game. He had 3 on the ground, 1 receiving touchdown, just the second Niner to ever have 3 rushing, 1 catching touchdowns in history. Tevin Coleman was the only other 49er who ever has done that. His 12 career games with at least 1 rushing touchdown and 1 receiving touchdown is now tied for the second most such games of all time. He has won more of those games this year. He's got second place all to himself. Marshall Faulk, by the way, has 15 such games in his career. Marshall Faulk was, part of the evolution of the position of running back in this league. And Christian McCaffrey has picked up what Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, the great ones before him are doing, and he's running with it. He's remarkable. He's violent as a runner. Violent. Guy's just fantastic. Stiff arms for everybody. I was joking around with Kruger. I wouldn't be surprised if, when handed a squeeze bottle of Gatorade, Christian McCaffrey doesn't stiff arm the water boy just by habit. Like he's just out there stiff arming everyone. He probably holds the door open for everyone because he's just so good at stiff arming. Guy's a beast. A real beast. We got to get things out of the way early today. I'm just going to tell you that sip of the day. We reloaded the coffee. We had about an hour to kill. Had a bagel. Good cream cheese, good breakfast, Warriors Media Day coming up, and we are just right at it here on the Plus. We will slip into Club Plus for just a little bit to get some of your comments and reactions to things that are going on. I've already pinned a few messages. This is the skills report saying, anybody else remember the time that Christian McCaffrey scored 4 touchdowns against the Cardinals at Levi's to open October of 2023? He's right up there with Al Bundy. I mean, not since the great Al Bundy at Polk High have we seen a level of production like this, Skills. And what a sports weekend. Hopefully Damon has time to squeeze in a few words about Brandon Crawford. But he's got to go to Warriors Media Day, so I don't know. Let me just tell you this about Brandon Crawford. If that's the last time you ever see him on the field for the Giants, and I think it is, yesterday was your last look at one of the great San Francisco Giants of all time. Brandon Crawford eats for free in this town forever, defensively as good of a glove and as good of an arm as you got in modern baseball. He is one of the all-time San Francisco Giants. He is the franchise's all-time starting shortstop in my mind. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. If we're cobbling together the all-time starting 9 for the San Francisco Giants, Brandon Crawford's on the list. So that's rare company indeed, and he deserves all the accolades and the send-off, and it was impossible not to like Brandon Crawford. And if it were just a matter of playing defense, that guy could play for 2-3 more years. He doesn't have much left at the plate to offer. Johnny Dunn says, good morning, Damon. I'm 25 now as of Saturday. All right, well, Johnny Dunn, even though it's a little bit after the fact, we'll celebrate your birthday for just 60 seconds here. Happy birthday, Johnny. 25 years old. You're a big boy now. You're officially going to be tried as an adult, so keep your nose clean. Keep your hands at 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Be very careful out there because you are a target. And hopefully we put on a clinic Sunday, and I'll get some ownage over my dad, who's a Cowboys fan. I'm just going to tell you right now, Johnny, I like the 49ers' chances in that game too. Got nothing to do with what we've seen so far. I just think that they're a tough matchup for the Dallas Cowboys. We saw it in the playoff game last year. I think the 49ers have gotten better. I don't know if the Cowboys are necessarily better. I really don't. So, a very good start to the year, and Cowboys week is going to be an awfully fun week for us here in the Bay Area. Plus, we got Fleet Week and Cowboys week. Sounds pretty good to me. It's going to be a good weekend for the city of San Francisco. I'm pumped for Cowboys week, says Michelle Haberman. Biggest rivalry for the 49ers when I was a kid. Plus, I got some friends who are diehard Cowboy fans. Let's go. Yeah, let's go indeed. Good morning, everybody. I hate the Raiders coach, Ray Lord 84. Hey, look, you might have some Raiders that are starting to hate the Raiders coach, but I will say this about Josh McDaniels, who's in a bad spot very early here. At least he went to Aiden O'Connell, who got sacked 6 times yesterday by Khalil Mack, but at least he went to Aiden O'Connell and didn't get caught in the Hoyer nonsense. So at least you got that going for you. It's one of those days where, seriously, Jimmy Garoppolo looks better in his absence sometimes than he does in his presence. It's the calming of Jimmy Garoppolo. Nathaniel Richards is saying CMC like Al Bundy out there. 4 touchdowns in 1 game. Again, the greatest afternoon in the history of Polk High football. We will hop back into some of your chats when we get to Club Plus. We've already had our sip of the day. That means it's about time for me to tell you that the next time you want a delicious sandwich, you got to get to Ike's. My man had a great weekend. My man is hopping on in early chats with me and Larry hanging out in 49ers Wake Up. Ike, thank you for all you've done to support the channel as it grows, and it is indeed growing. We just had the most views in any month as expected. September was great for the Plus. Ike is great for your appetite. Delicious sandwiches, something for everyone's flavor profile is being offered at Ike's. Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. Speaking of finding out for yourself, it is time for you to sign up for Bottom Line Bets. Don't be curious. Don't poke around. You go and sign up at Bottom Line Bets with daily, weekly, monthly subscriptions available. And he's got a full season to ride out the rest of the year if that's how you want to come in. But the whole point is stop just browsing. Click on it. Sign up. Let Stefan know it was your friend Damon who sent you there, and just our cash and winners. He was undefeated on the bets he made inside of the 49ers game. He had a great NFL weekend. He gave you the Chargers over the Raiders. He's just giving you winner, winner, chicken dinner every single time I looked up. Every play that he had on the Niners game came home a winner. So there you go. Get selfish. Make an investment in inside good information that has Vegas rattled, because my man Stefan is hitting winners all the time. Find out for yourself at bottomlinebets.com. Sign up today, Junior. And I want to welcome in a new partner here to the Damon Bruce Show, Jack's in San Francisco. No, that's not my firstborn son. This is the coolest vintage t-shirt shop in the city. Go ahead to Chestnut Street and find out Jack's. Just go browsing. You're going to want every single t-shirt they got in there. Great 49er gear, vintage gear, authentic San Francisco only gear, defunct, no longer in use. Ray Ratto would love this place. And by the way, that's where today's t-shirt is coming from. This is the San Francisco Clippers. The San Francisco Clippers played at Kezar right before the 49ers became the 49ers. This is one of the first football teams west of the Mississippi. They were a huge deal in their heyday. I absolutely love the design, the big Clipper airplane behind the old school football player with the letter helmet. I absolutely love Jack's t-shirts. They're comfortable. They're printed very well. They're not that cheap mall print. This is a gorgeous t-shirt. Go to Jack's in San Francisco on Chestnut Street, or go to jackssf.com and start browsing their website right now, jackssf.com. And I'm going to have a promo code for you soon enough. So you're going to be doing an awful lot of your holiday shopping at jackssf.com. If you know a whole bunch of Bay Area sports fans, they got something for everyone in there. It is the coolest vintage t-shirt store in San Francisco. Check out Jack's. We're happy to welcome them aboard as a new partner. The official outfitter. Well, how about this? Anytime I'm wearing a Jack's t-shirt, I'll tell you about it. It's just that simple. Guy's giving me a whole mess of t-shirts to show you over the next week or two. So check out Jack's. It is good to have you here. Thank you for checking out the Plus once again. We are on AMP today. There won't be a VIP lounge on AMP today, but you can listen over there. Obviously, you got me right here on YouTube. The podcast will exceed 100,000 downloads probably by tomorrow afternoon. Thank you to all the support you're giving over there as well. It means an awful, awful lot. 4 touchdown days for Christian McCaffrey. Now, I don't think we're ever going to get used to a 4 touchdown day, but multiple touchdown games out of Christian McCaffrey is something we should probably all start getting used to because it's happening with regularity. Like, you're going to take it as for granted as a Steph Curry corner 3, right? You just assume that that's going to happen. You're just going to assume that McCaffrey's going to have a couple of touchdowns today. He's been remarkable. You add McCaffrey to what we're getting out of Brock Purdy, and now all of a sudden, this offense is as scary as any offense in football. Their offensive line played well. Again, they put up 35 yesterday with 1 catch from Kittle, no catches from Debo. Not even a target for Debo Samuel, who was out there giving it the old lunch bucket effort. He clearly wasn't 100%. He had 3 carries. But that's it. He was decoy city for most of the day for the 49ers, and that decoy opened up a big day for Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk, 6 catches, 6 targets, 148 yards. Brandon Ayuk runs more wide open routes than anybody in football. You'd think he's Tyreek Hill. He's open so much. Guy's been fantastic. I love that Kyle went for it on 4th down in the first quarter, second drive of the game. He kept the pedal to the metal when the Cardinals scored a touchdown that all of a sudden brought them back into the game. Unless the 49ers can come and answer on this drive. That drive opened with a big pass play, a huge pass play to Brandon Ayuk that I thought was maybe the biggest play of the game. Purdy opening up a series with a 34-yard play action pass to Brandon Ayuk that just let everybody in the stadium know, hey, Kyle's not going to sit here and try to rest on his laurels. Kyle's not going to try to milk a lead. He is staying aggressive. You know, I thought that Gannon stayed pretty aggressive as he could be as a head coach. The Arizona Cardinals are officially better than anyone wanted them to be, mostly the Arizona Cardinals front office itself. They didn't bring in Josh Dobbs to play well, but Josh Dobbs has played so well, he might be better than Kyler Murray. He's good, man. He can play. They got skill position players. Hollywood Brown, he had himself a really good game. Michael Wilson out of Stanford had himself a good game. Zach Ertz, he's a problem. You know, you got skill position players to keep you honest all day long with the Cardinals. But the Niners were just better, and they ended up overwhelming them when it was all said and done. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw were outstanding yesterday. Absolutely outstanding to the point where if you needed to put on some game film to make the argument that the 49ers got 2 of the best linebackers in all of football, you could put on yesterday's game film, and that would probably be enough to win the argument. A combined 20 tackle day. They each had 10, Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. They each had 8 solo tackles. It was a good game for Diamador Lenore. I saw some people today complaining about Ambry Thomas. Everyone needs something to complain about the day after a football game. Ambry Thomas did give up the reception that allowed Arizona to score right before halftime to make the game more interesting than it had been after that first half that the Niners basically played perfectly and dominated. But you let off the gas pedal for just a little bit. At any point in time in this league, all of a sudden you might have problems. It didn't turn out to be a problem for the 49ers, who are now 3-0 in their last 3 games against Arizona. And again, as much fits as Arizona gives the 49ers, that's pretty good. They beat the Cardinals last year at Levi's. They beat them on Sunday at Levi's, and they beat the Cardinals in Mexico City, if you remember that last year as well, in what was essentially a homecoming game for 49ers fans vacationing in Mexico City. Larry Krueger asked a very funny question to Kyle Shanahan in the post-game press conference when he said, "You're going to talk to Brock about that one incompletion?" And in typical Kyle Shanahan fashion, he's up there, he giggles a little, but he's also like, hey, it led to our one and only punt of the day. So, he didn't want that. Kyle does want perfection out of his quarterbacks. You always seek it. You probably never attain it. Purdy gets as close as you're pretty much allowed to get yesterday in terms of perfection, 20 of 21. Again, try to do that on Madden. Good luck. Red zone improvement. 1 week over the other. That's where the 49ers got a lot better in their long week off in between the Giants game and the Cardinals game. The 49ers offense scored a touchdown on all 5 trips to their red zone on Sunday. 4 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown. It marked the most red zone touchdowns in a single game by the team since 2017, and the first time they've gone 100% on touchdowns in a single game since 2013. So it's the most effectively executing in the red zone the 49ers have been in a decade. Pretty good. Pretty good. The broadcast, Kevin Kugler is okay at his job. Mark Sanchez is less than okay at his job. He's not the worst, but boy, he said Brock Purdy is a point guard twice in the opening drive. It's his one talking point that he keeps on coming back to. The most useful information we got out of that broadcast yesterday from the broadcasters were the note that Kyle Juszczyk's dogs are named Mozzarella and Pierogi. Those are great dog names. Let's be totally honest. Those are outstanding dog names. Mozzarella and Pierogi. Those are great. I feel like Burt Reynolds in Boogie Nights sitting in the jacuzzi. Fellas, these are great names. Ooh, another sip of the day qualifier right there. I like that. What I didn't like about the game is hardly even worth bringing up, to be completely honest. What are we going to do? Talk about a game which the Niners so thoroughly dominated they played historically borderline perfectly throughout most of it? Here's what I didn't like. I didn't like the third down play before the fourth down conversion on the one completed pass to Kittle all day long. Okay, so I didn't like the third down call. I guess it doesn't matter when you pick up fourth down. Obviously, you don't like kicking the ball out of bounds on any, kickoff. That was a mistake by Wisnowski. That gave Arizona a short field at the 40-yard line, and that turned into its first field goal of the day. So don't kick the ball out of bounds again, Mitch. That'd be great. I didn't like Ray McCloud bringing the ball out of the end zone on the second half kickoff. And that's about it. I mean, these are wildly correctable. I mean, I'm complaining about a third down call that really didn't matter. I'm complaining about a kicking the ball out of bounds on kickoff, which is obviously something no one's even trying to do at the high school level. Ray McCloud, make a better choice. You might not want to bring that out 6 yards deep from the end zone when you're leading comfortably. Just take what the defense has given you. And obviously 10 men on the field for a 2-point conversion cannot be cloaked in glory. We can't pretend that that's good, but when you then stop the Cardinals from converting the 2-point conversion, even with the 10 men that you had on the field, I guess that doesn't really matter either. So all of my complaints are wildly correctable, and they're very coachable moments. I mean, my God, it's a perfect start. With Debo healthy enough to play although he wasn't all the way healthy, with Brandon Ayuk playing like, hey man, I never even got hurt, didn't miss a beat. The 49ers have a Dre Greenlaw ankle that they're going to be monitoring between now and the Dallas Cowboy game, and that should be okay too, which means this team is off to a wildly impressive, very dominant, very healthy 4-0 start. The trade deadline could be very interesting. If you're talking about where the two positions where you're thinking the 49ers might want to improve, right tackle, which is impossible to find basically once the year begins. No one's coming off of a tackle. And cornerback, which maybe, I mean, Larry brought up the fact that if the Broncos really start saying, man, we got to hit the full reboot on this whole damn thing, we got to get some draft picks back. If Patrick Surtain actually hits the market, there's a player that you look at. The New York Jets might be looking to sell off a corner or two before it's all said and done. The Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears, teams that are off to disappointing starts could all be ripe for the plucking in terms of the 49ers getting aggressive at the trade deadline. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to hear shit about future draft picks or anything. Whatever the Niners believe they need to do to take their best shot at a Super Bowl in 2024, it's worth sacrificing some future to be as good as you can today because, folks, now's the time. Here it is. Here it is. This is the season that you are all in on trying to win a Super Bowl. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. It should be fascinating. This is going to be a fun week. It is Cowboys week. I know that Larry and I are going to be doing a special Cowboy preview show on Friday. We've got some guests mixed in throughout the week. I'm going to be appearing on a few other shows, talking to some new content creators that I'm looking forward to talking to because I think they're really good at what they do. And man, it's just an outstanding start. An outstanding start. It's so good that we don't have to talk about Gabe Kapler at all today. And we're not going to talk about Gabe Kapler. Because there's really nothing left to say other than, did you read the Gabe Kapler Instagram good sort of goodbye, sort of deep thinker? Like, the next requirement for the next manager of the San Francisco Giants should simply be, are you a normal person? Are you normal? Do you talk like a normal? Do you not try to sound like an intellectual who has spent more times doing push-ups than anything? Like, come on. Gabe Kapler wasn't a bad guy, but there was nothing about him that was relatable or normal. Look at his I'm leaving the San Francisco Giants 4-page diatribe about what he's proud of and what they accomplished. And look, he's got some things to be proud of, and there's some things that he did accomplish. But just the way that he goes about talking about it is so ab-fucking-normal that's why you had to go, dude. Nobody talks like this. Nobody acts like this. Nobody shaves that hard. Nobody. Stop it. So it was a gots-to-go situation. He totally lost the clubhouse. For those asking, how come not Farhan? Farhan's not going anywhere. Farhan's not going anywhere. If he got to do the Gabe Kapler's been fired press conference, he's not about to get his walking papers later today. But by the way, are my inside sources spot on and on the money? I mean, the only thing I got wrong was assuming that the 49ers might wait till today to let Gabe Kapler go. They did that on Friday. They did that on Friday. Didn't even bother waiting the weekend, which means the clubhouse didn't want to see him again. Didn't want another fucking lineup card turned in by that guy. They got sick of him. They did. They got sick of him. I could never get sick of hanging out with you here on the Plus. I love it. What a cool little community we've officially built here. So many recognizable names, people that are now friends of not just me, but my wife, my family. Oi, oi, oi. San Bruno Mike is saying 100,000 downloads. Damon, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Vince Vargas. Hey, Damon, what about a Bay Area Bomber roller derby t-shirt from when they were at the Cow Palace? Didn't they also do it at the Fine Arts, Palace of Fine Arts too, I think, for a little while? All I can tell you is that if it's a good vintage idea, chances are you will find it at Jack's on Chestnut. Go to jackssf.com. Again, they got the coolest shit in the world. They really, really do. Yosarian saying, no VIP today? Hamburgers. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make it up for you as the week goes along. I've got some Soul Man stuff to play for you. Last week, we went deep into British rock. We did some Guilty Pleasures. We did some Rejoiner Celebration. We got some really good music for you as we move about this week. But again, today, I got to get over to Chase Center. It's Warriors Media Day. I believe I'm already late for it, which means we got to hop into Club Plus right here and right now. If you tuned in on the podcast, I thank you so very, very much for doing so, and I please ask you to remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Oh, yeah. Now, we will be closing the show on the AMP app with your Tweezer reprise of the day. I mean, after all, this whole show is based in the concept of tradition, and you don't go changing your socks when you got a win streak going on. We got a win streak going on. What was the promo code? It's going to be Damon Bruce 10, but I don't know if we've officially had it implemented to where you can use it right now. So I'll tell you when you can go to Jack's and start shopping with a nice 10% discount. But it's really, really cool. They got great stuff. Sam Bruno Mike again says, the 49ers are dangerous when Debo can be a decoy. Yeah, pretty much all afternoon he's a decoy out there. Chef A saying, don't forget to pound that like button. Go ahead and get it done.
Pound it.
Thank you, Chef A. I appreciate that very, very much. The Cardinals were hanging in there for a while, says RIP Cougar Rebel. They played a lot better than I expected. Look, they've done that 4 weeks in a row now. The Cardinals are not, here's the thing. I don't think they're a good football team, but they're not bad. I see bad football teams all around this league, and the Arizona Cardinals will beat them too. They're not bad at all. Kyler Murray just got Wally pipped. Look, They don't want Kyler Murray to come in, get hurt, and kick in the next year of his deal. I think they want to move off of him. There's already talk that even though he's ready to come up off the PUP list, they don't necessarily want to do that. I wonder if he hasn't played his last game. I seriously wonder if he hasn't played his last game. I saw a lot of excitement for Laurie Matthews joining us today. Laurie Matthews, welcome. Wonderful to see you. Subscribe, like, notify, all that good stuff. People are excited. Laurie is abandoning some radio stations to follow talent over to YouTube. Take a number, Laurie. Larry and I were beating 95.7 The Game and KMBR combined this morning with the views that we were getting for 49ers Wake Up. We are officially disrupting this industry. And I love it. And there are a few program directors who have to be absolutely shitting their pants. You're welcome, America. It's our pleasure. Lori says, they're talking Warriors over there. It's Victory Monday for the Niners. Yeah, get your priorities right. But look, they're the flagship station. They're probably dragged every show out to Chase Center to do Media Day. And like, I get it. That's why it's good to be over here. I can do it however I want. And guess what? We do it the right way over here. So yeah, Niner. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get you some interesting stuff from Media Day. I'll post it and you can watch it when it's convenient to you. You don't need anything jammed down your throat. Steph Curry's good. Klay Thompson, it's a walk year. Wiggins. Oh, what do you know? Chris Paul is here. You know all that. It's coming. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to get to it. Philip says, Damon, my only complaint is that the defense has given up scores in the last 2 minutes of the first half now for 4 consecutive games. I hear you. Okay. I'm sure that that's something they're talking about internally, but at no point in time have those scores come back to change the outcome of a game. I would love to see a perfect four-quarter game. Look around this league. There are no perfect four-quarter games available to anyone. Seriously. I mean, the Miami Dolphins came pretty close a week ago, and then what's the carryover going to be? Oh, they get clobbered up in Buffalo. Consistency is the new hallmark of greatness in the NFL, and there might be no more consistent executing the game plan the way that they want it to go football team than the 49ers right now. They've won 14 straight games. They've won 14 straight regular season games. Franchises haven't done that. Most football teams in the history of football haven't done that. To do it in the modern game is even more impressive. It's remarkable. Look at everyone being nice to everybody, saying, hello, I love you. I love it. Dude, we got the nicest group of people. How about that? A chat room that's not full of total a-holes. That's what we're doing over here on the Plus. Again, so much of sports has just turned into buffoonery. We're going to remove the buffoonery from covering sports and see where that goes. Isn't that going to be fun? Hey, instead of making up shit to talk about, let's talk about the actual interesting stuff that's happening. What a concept. How about my boys at Never Daunted Radio Network? Never daunted, we will not falter. In the battle, we're tried and true. Indiana gets killed at Maryland. I'm fucking tired of that football team. It's why I'm officially breaking up with Indiana football. It's a slow-moving coup. I'm taking USC into my heart. I'm going full on dark side. I'm going to tell you that Reggie needs his Heisman back. I'm going to tell you right now that OJ, looking for the killers, will help him find them. Fight on. I saw USC let Colorado almost back into a game. That was a fun game to watch. Fun weekend of college football, as long as you didn't watch the Indiana Hoosiers, who do nothing but kick you in the dick every single time they take the field. But Purdy has answered the bell in every way possible. You are right about that, Galen, if that is indeed who you are. I think that might be Galen. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and have a little, hopefully, chit-chat today with Trace Jackson Davis, although the Warriors don't do one-on-ones on media day. Maybe I can find Trace and just pull him aside and talk to him about his upcoming rookie year. I'm going to be in Raymond Ritter's ear. I'm going to be booking Golden State Warriors over here on the Plus. I don't need any fucking flagship to be booking Warriors on my show. They're going to come. Hell, we might have more people watching, a bigger cume than both radio stations anyways. Cannoli's a better name for the dogs. Look, Cannoli's a nice name for a dog, and it's cute and everything, but I like mozzarella and pierogi. Pierogi's just a great name. What has he got, some Samoids? Samoids, is that what they're called? Oh, what do you know? Oh, look at this right here. Irwin. Samoids. My wife would know how to pronounce that. They're good-looking dogs. I love it. My favorite dog name of all time, I saw this guy had a bulldog that he named Mr. Breakfast. That's a great name, Mr. Breakfast. Look at Lori's feeling the love. Again, welcome, Lori. Welcome. It's great to have you here. Hey, Sanchez. At least he called him the ultimate point guard. Yeah, that Sanchez really went full game prep, and he added the word ultimate to the point guard compliment for Brock Purdy. Sanchez is the kind of guy who's been getting by on his looks and his charm forever. And that gets exposed in a broadcast. Are you really prepared? Yes or no? Sanchez, he does say one interesting thing every half an hour because he was an NFL quarterback and he sees things that normal mortal people like you and me just don't see on a field. But he's not great. He's not great. Nathaniel Richards talking about my list of complaints about that Week 4 win. Other teams would love to have those issues. Yeah, that's about it. When the biggest thing that went wrong this afternoon is straight up like, you know what? Don't bring the ball out of the end zone so deep when you're up big, and a special teams play going the wrong way might be a right way to jumpstart the other team's hope. That's it. That's it. Everything that you wanted to have happen basically happened in that game. RIP Cougar Rebel. F them picks. F them picks, F them kids. Absolutely. I don't care. 2023. 2023 49ers. I don't care about the 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2030. I don't care about any other 49er team, past or present, than this one. Live in the moment. The 49ers got all that cap room. I know they want to roll a lot over for Ayuk, and they need Ayuk because, God, he's just fantastic. But if you go ahead and you can address, you bring in another corner. Bring in another corner. Larry got real aggressivo, and he said, look, not only would it just be adding strength to strength, but it would be a block to prevent him from going either to a team that you might have to deal with down the road. The Dallas Cowboys, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Chiefs. Jonathan Taylor. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Could you imagine a backfield of McCaffrey and that guy? I mean, Jonathan Taylor. He can return from the PUP. He will practice on Wednesday. And what are they going to do? Have they reached the point where he wants out? Can you imagine having him and McCaffrey? It would be the ultimate insurance for Christian McCaffrey. And look, McCaffrey's so important, having a little insurance there might not be a bad idea. This is True Blue Forever saying, hey, how come nobody's talking about why we have to stay sober or coherent until Sunday night this upcoming weekend? Yeah, here's the thing. You can sleep in late. You can have yourself a nice afternoon nap. But Sunday night football, 49ers, Cowboys, it just doesn't get bigger than that in the NFL. It doesn't. It's going to be fun. Going to have a huge, absolutely huge post-game show coming up on Sunday. We started the 2-minute warning again. We're so aggressivo, we don't even bother waiting for the game to go final before we start post-game. So join me at the 2-minute warning. And then the day after the 49ers play, it is 49er Wake Up with Damon and Larry. Yeah. Old Dirty Hungus, by the way. Smart people aren't always trying to convince you how deep and intelligent they are. Kapler just tried too hard. Yeah, I agree. There was just, it was just inauthentic. Damon, are you using any media companies to generate ad revenue? Just a heads up, AI saw a few of them are scamming YouTubers and not paying them on their ads. No, we're not trying to game the system in any way over here. I haven't bought a single follower. We've done some advertising, but that's it. Every single person who is subscribing is an actual person who wanted to come here and talk sports with some adults. There we go. That's what we got going on. Damon broke the news of Kapler first. We heard it here on the Plus first. Look, I didn't break any news. I specifically went out of the way to tell you that I wasn't breaking news, but I had people who got the inside dope on this, and they're saying Kapler is dunzo. and Kapler was donezo. Look, I got sources. I mean, shame on me if I didn't have sources. I've been covering sports in this town for 20 years. I'm not a guy who's got an internet connection and a YouTube channel. There's plenty of those turkeys getting exposed. I'm an actual lowercase J journalist, not an uppercase J journalist. Damon, I'm guessing one of your sources is Susan Slusser. I'm wondering who the other one is. No on Susan. And I'm telling you that my sources are in the house. Okay? The call's coming from inside the house when I get a call from one of my sources. San Francisco Spiders, you got it? Yeah, absolutely. San Francisco Spiders. I did see a spider. I did see another old defunct hockey team. They just got, go ahead, go to jaxsf.com and start checking out all of their T-shirts are like little history lessons about the Bay Area sports. They're awesome. I told him, I said, and the guy who owns the place, his name is Jack. What a concept. I said, you need to get the story behind your shirts out, and that's where I can help you. I said, if you give me hundreds of dollars worth of free T-shirts, I will give you thousands of dollars worth of advertising. So we got a little trade out. That's some good old-fashioned radio biz right there. What a nice guy Jack is, too. It's really cool. He hires students, gives them all kinds of room to work around their schedule. I like everything about him. I just got to know him this weekend. Stacy Leo is applauding the soul music that we got coming up. Dude, your Blue-Eyed Soul Brothers got some really good music for you that he was listening to some stuff this weekend. And I'm like, whenever I hear a song that I'm like, oh, that's going on a playlist. So we'll be amping it up in the VIP lounge tomorrow. I promise you. Warriors Media Day is underway. Damon, can we get 2 minutes on the never-ending nightmare in Bloomington? Look, it's time to fire Tom Allen. If I hear another word about him loving everyone, I'm going to strangle somebody. Tom Allen is not a Big Ten coach. He's a really nice guy. He's likable, but that's where the story ends. Go get me a fucking football coach. Guy's a high school football coach masquerading as Indiana's head coach. Enough. Nathaniel Richards, give him hell at Media Day. What am I? Rah! Media Day! Rah! Well, there's no reason to give anybody hell yet. Lori Matthews, is this your first Club Plus? Ooh, the boys want to know, Lori. Rockin' New Era 84. Oh, it is her first. Hopefully we've been nice and gentle, Lori. All right. That's about it. Damon, Malcolm Brogdon on the word. By the way, how about those Portland Trailblazers? Right? And then flip Drew Holiday. Dude, the Celtics, they got better this weekend. The Bucks got better. The Celtics got better. The Portland Trailblazers are making good choices over there. What's their guy, Cronin? He's making, the guy who couldn't is all of a sudden turned into the guy who might be able to. What else we got? I think that's about it here. I'm just going to go scrolling because I really do need to get going. I wish I could just hang out and talk with you. It's a big Monday, but again, I'm a one-man army. I'm my own media company now. I should send Jillian to Warriors Media Day. I'd probably like her more than me, to be totally honest with you. Who doesn't like Jillian more than me? Sporticus says, look, if talent and game plan executions are barometers of greatness, then the 49ers are currently the best team in the NFL, and it's not even close. I would tell you that that's a very good evaluation of what we're seeing. Just competence. This looks good. That looks good. The coach is good. The players are executing. There's a game plan that seems superior than other game plans, and things are really looking good. Really, really looking good all the way around. Nancy says, it's great to be in a chat room where there's not a lot of crud. Nice to chat here with the greatest sports fans in the Bay. Well, thank you, Nancy. I tell you, I got some great listeners. These are good people. These are people who don't come here to, try to out-dickhead each other. It seems like the world's in one big who can be the biggest dickhead contest. And because we pay way too much attention to dickheads. Not over here. Not only here. The only thing we do to dicks, True Blue forever. Straight dick kicking. That's what we do. Thank you. Kim, Samoids. It's that Y. Makes me want to go Samioids. But thank you, Kim. Kim is hardcore supporter of what we're doing over here. And as a radio lifer, that means an awful lot. Tyon, it's good time to be a 49ers fan. Feels like all the distractions are in the rearview mirror. The team can focus, and it's showing. They're healthy, they're focused, they're on point, they're not overlooking opponents. It's everything you would want to start a year, and maybe most importantly of all, they're healthy. Healthy, healthy, healthy. Michelle Haberman, kicking dicks and taking names. Can't wait. It's what we do. Beep boop. Beep boop. Not a robot. Thank you, Michael. Beep boop. By the way, when I do that with my son, when I get my jack and I'm like, when we start playing robots and he's like, beep boop. When my kid starts a sentence with beep boop, I know I'm about to laugh. Real numbers, Damon. Real numbers. That's what we got in here. Damon, what about stripper robot nurses? Yes. We'll take all the stripper robot nurses that you can send in my direction. There it is, kids. I thought today's short show was right on point. I'm sorry that we didn't get more time together today, but I got to get over to Warriors Media Day. Damon, Media Day, Warface. Draymond, are you going to be punching teammates this year? Woo! Here you go. Sporticus with the last word. Hey, tomorrow's the start of no ghost runners in extra inning season. Isn't that exciting? That is good times. Hey, folks, thank you for being such good times. If you need your Tweezer reprise of the day, you're about to get it over on the AMP app, but we do not have a lot of time to hang out. We're going to give you your tweet prize, and then I'm rolling. You can find some video from Warriors Media Day going up on the site a little bit later, some highlights from 49ers Wake Up. To those of you, and I know many of you who have been with me since 8 a.m. this morning, I thank you very, very much. And what can I tell you, man? You're the best. You're the best. Stacy Leo's being really sweet right here. She says, thank you, Damon. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. You know, I'm telling you, that sounds like a Tina Turner song. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks to all of you. You are fantastic. You're the wind beneath my wings, or whatever. That's it. Look, you don't need to go home, but you can't stay here.